We are, sir.
All right. If we could stand to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, I've asked John Hunter with Heartland Visioning if he would lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to the April 27, 2015 Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair of the Board of County Commissioners. Joining me today are Commissioners Bob Archer. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Commissioner Shelley Bueller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, if we could have our first item.
First item is item 1, proclamations presentation, update on Heartland Visioning. John Hunter.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. I would like to start by just introducing you to our new Communications and Community Engagement Coordinator, Kristen Brunko. She joined our staff the 1st of March, and Kristen was a replacement for Emma Starkey, who has moved over to Community Resources Council. We're very happy to have Kristen with us. Next to her is Megan Deutsch. Megan is our, I'm really making a mess of the names today. Megan is our intern from Washburn University, and we're happy to have her with us today. I want to give you a quick little PowerPoint presentation to give you an update as where we are with Heartland Visioning. We've provided you with new folders that has taken each of our priorities, broken down some of the activities, and then on the one side you'll see a list of questions. Those are the ones that we're going out and working on as we do community engagement this spring and into summer. First off, I'd like to show you the new Heartland Visioning logo. We have been working with the branding leadership team of Visit Topeka. We're very excited about that. We're actually the first in the city to use the logo in a public way. We think it's bright, exciting, and this is a logo. There'll be similarities to this, but it'll be used by Visit Topeka, the Chamber, Go Topeka, Arts Connect is looking at it, and a number of others. So we're really excited about, if you will, being under the Capitol Dome. So again, a good example of continuation of partnership. We have Heartland Visioning pretty well formed in a way that we can present it to the general public and have people understand it. And we break it down to just these 4 statements. We start with community engagement, meaning we simply go out, we talk with people. We want to be good listeners to find out what the community likes about Topeka, where they still want to see change, what they feel about the change going on. We then take those responses to our management team. That's where the strategy sessions go. That's how we develop our priorities. Then we move it into the network teams. There we have some 65 to 70 volunteers who come together once a month on a Friday morning. And they're the ones that sit down and start working on strategies as to how to approach those priorities, looking into them, possibly setting some goals and objectives for accomplishing some things associated with those. And then the last thing that we have to do is, of course, we want to get back out into the community with ongoing communications, and that's where Kristen comes in. We've updated our website. She has a lovely thing called Kristen's Corner, which is working right now. It's her perspective. She's from K-State and originally from Ponca City, Oklahoma. So she's new to our community. It gives us a different view, and we're excited about what that is offering. So we're still saying with our same mission that building a growing, prosperous, dynamic, and trusting community. And as far as our Friday meetings go, I've been the executive director for a year now. We haven't had any drop in attendance. The groups are working very, very effectively. And I would say all of them now have gone from, in some cases, almost 6 months of just talking, try to get their arms around what the community wants and how we might be able to engage with them into where they're really involved with project development and cooperation. The next, if it'll come up here, there we go.
Literacy skills necessary for children from high poverty homes as they move from home to kindergarten. Pine Ridge is a collaboration of Topeka Housing Authority, United Way of Greater Topeka, and Topeka Public Schools. This announcement is sponsored in part by Equity Bank with 3 Topeka locations.
A year ago, the management committee challenged me that they wanted 2 things emphasized. Oops, this is the 15-second cut.
Supports the efforts of the Pine
Forgot
Ridge
that was on
Kansas
there.
Teachers Program and Pine Ridge Prep. This announcement is sponsored in part by Equity Bank with 3 Topeka locations.
So we have a 30-second and a 15-second spot. These are now being aired on KTWU, WIBW, and we'll be contracting with KSNT later on tomorrow. Is that meeting? Tomorrow. We were challenged last April to work on this idea of wanting to be a trusting community, and also the feeling was that the name of Heartland Visioning, the organization, had maybe slipped a little bit in the public eye. We wanted to bring that back up, and so we established this awareness campaign. It'll go on for the next 2 years. This is the first of our commercials, if you will, that we've produced. The next one is the bike share program. We're supporting that. And then also downtown. We're working with Vince and Edie with DTI, and we'll be filming that later on this summer. And then coming the fall, we'll be working with Capital Journal and some of the magazines in town and hitting the print. And then, of course, we're working within our website and other social media sites to promote this idea of a trusting community, something to be proud of. And in the case of Pine Ridge, this organization, they don't have any money for marketing, but they are really doing something fantastic for our community, and we want people to know about it. We're also working with the city of Topeka. On your left, this is from the city health map. The area of downtown has never had a neighborhood improvement association. It's always been listed as being critical in the red or at risk in the pink. And so on this side of the page, the right side, these are the boundaries that are currently established for the downtown. And with all the development going in downtown, with the amount of money, the millions of dollars that we're putting into the downtown effort, we thought now would be a good time to start looking into the neighborhoods to see how we could find leadership and possibly lead to the development of an NIA if the people in the area would like that. By doing that, that would allow them to tap into both city and federal dollars for things in terms of alleyways, lighting, sidewalks, the SORT grant project. You might be aware of that. So we work with Sasha Stiles and Monique Glades, and then we put together a strategic committee made up of people associated with prevention recovery services, with Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods, with Safe Streets, and Heartland Visioning. So the leadership of those groups meet on a monthly basis with the city, and then we gradually, as we get our strategic plan in place, we'll then funnel that out, and we'll have some 300 volunteers that'll have an opportunity to get involved in some of the engagement necessary for this project. The bike share program just launched at Washburn. We're very excited about that. The bikes, talking with Dr. Farley, are being used on a daily basis over at Washburn and down at the library. So we think this is something really great for the city, and again, we're going to be having commercial announcements that'll be running throughout the summer as part of our awareness program. This one I'm really excited about. Vicki Brokey from Topeka Civic Theater handles our entertainment committee. Rosa Cavares and Edie Smith work with us on this. Edie's with DTI and Rosa's with Visit Topeka. And really for the first time now, we have about 18 people on this network team. And we are looking at all of the events that are being planned both for this year and for the coming years so that we can keep things coordinated. Because the feeling is if DTI is putting on a parade or some kind of a big event, the people in NOTO should know about it to see whether or not there could be some paired opportunities. Same thing, if Visit Topeka is bringing something in with the Capitol or Gage Park or some other area of the city, then DTI and NOTO should also know about that. Visit Topeka has now claimed ownership to Topeka 365, the website, in which all of this will be coordinated on. And again, this is the first time that these 3 groups are sitting down in a collaborative way, and we're real excited about this. The dynamic core that's being worked on, gradually things are starting to happen. We know about the levy system. Is that correct? Everybody know about the money that's coming in? Okay. So the top slide is one that I took last fall. If I was walking down the levee, if you look on the left, you see the trees. And as you can see, we worked with the city, with Doug Whitaker. We've now had the bushes cleared away, and here's another view. When I walked in the fall, you could not see the Capitol. Here we spent hundreds of millions of dollars. You couldn't hardly see the river, and you certainly couldn't see the Capitol. This is the view today. So it's a remarkable change, I think, for a starting point to start bringing people's attention to the river. We're also, of course, working with downtown. As we all know, that is still under development. I try to meet monthly with Vince Fry. We try to stay on top of that project. And again, we're going to support that through our awareness campaign, because this is what it's going to look like in about 9 months from now. And we're really excited about the public-private partnership that's involved with this, the money that's coming in from the private sector for the beautification, and also the fact that some of our business leaders have stepped up and have been purchasing buildings downtown from out-of-state landlords so that we can really start driving new business development in that area. Working with Shelley and with John Knight, this is our area, of course, standing on the levee looking back toward the Great Overland Station, and our hope is that sometime in the future the buildings and structures that you see involved here will someday be turned into this park structure here. Now, this was actually devised, I believe, Terry Bertles. Terry, weren't you involved in that original plan back in 2003? We've been talking with John Knight, about going back and getting a small committee together to revisit this. Is this where everybody wants to go? And once we can get some agreements, then we can start looking, or John can start looking at what kind of a budget plan it would take to start making this change. It also, by looking at this, it addresses the relationship with the Great Overland Station. And of course, the opportunities, if something like that was created with the riverfront available to us, it would be wonderful. Working with Beth Fager, she is in contact with Roger Wolf, Friends of the Caw, and we're moving toward discussions about putting in a boat ramp down on the, right down by the Topeka Avenue Bridge in the future, so that we'll have easy access for people to enjoy recreationally the changes that come with our riverfront. So Heartland Visioning provides critical components to all of this change, and it's called social capital. And that is all of the volunteers that we have working across the community right now in a, quite frankly, I think a very well-structured program of involvement. Heartland Visioning does consider itself a trusting voice of the community, and we're very proud to be part of the positive change both in Topeka and throughout Shawnee County. Thank you. If there are any questions, oh, and I do want to mention, I think the three of you have been invited. For the first time, we're going to do a donor reception. We've not done this before. We're very thankful for Topeka Community Foundation. They are underwriting this for us, and it's going to be, I think, a really nice event for us, a way of getting back and saying thank you to those community sponsors, as well as to the commission and the city council members. So we appreciate the support, and we hope to keep doing, continuing on with the fine work that I think these volunteers are doing. Thank you.
Commissioners, comments?
Thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping us and everybody here updated. Appreciate it.
You're most welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, John. Thank you for the presentation. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Are there any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? There's been a motion by Commissioner Bueller for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed? And it passes 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Vouchers are totaling $1,023,533.73. Payroll is $478,048.67. Solid waste and recycling, $224,646.71. And then holding accounts, Kansas Director of Vehicles, $138,615.55. And just a note, at our last meeting, Williamson Excavating, it was due to a special assessment. I had a question on the $105,000, so that's been cleared up, but I have no questions on the current vouchers. Move approval.
Got a motion to approve the vouchers as presented
Second.
by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed? That passes 3-0. Next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. There's been a motion by Commissioner Archer for approval of the correction orders, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0. Next item.
Item B, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of payment of invoice for emergency sewer repair by MCOM in the Legacy Woods Sanitary Sewer System with a cost to the Sherwood Regional Wastewater System of $34,209.96, and with no detrimental financial impact to the county.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This item actually occurred several months ago, and at that time, we did not have an on-call contractor to do the work for that sewer system out of Legacy Woods. So we utilized MCON to do that work, and it was quite an extensive amount of labor, actually trying to identify where the issue was and repairing any damages that had occurred along the way. But after that occurred, we then came to the commission and had MCON. We wanted to have a contract written with them, so they developed the contract, and now that the contract has been developed, this is the invoice for the work that they performed previously. Again, the money would come from the Sherwood sewer system, which is all funded by user fees, so there'd be no tax impact, no taxes used to pay this invoice. So it's our recommendation that it be approved, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions regarding this item? Go ahead.
Move approval.
There's been a motion by Commissioner Bueller for approval,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? And it passes 3-0. Next item.
Item B2, consider approval of request to solicit quotations for commercial and industrial containers at an estimated expenditure of $60,000 to $100,000.
Commissioners, this item here, this is a solid waste item, and throughout any given year, it is really impossible to determine how many different commercial containers we may need throughout the year. So what this proposal is essentially to go out and essentially get quotes for every single type and size of container that we think we would be purchasing throughout the year, so we can just get our costs established, and then as our needs come about throughout the year, that we would have the cost established and then make an order and proceed from that manner. This is similar to what we do with our culvert pipe on the public works side, where we don't know exactly what quantities we're going to need, but we have prices determined ahead of time, so that when the time comes, we have them established. Any funds that would, or any monies that would be needed to make the purchases would come from the solid waste department, which again is an enterprise fund and funded by user fees, so there'd be no taxes that would be used to make these purchases. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Any questions regarding this item? Tom, how does this relate? I know that we don't know how many we're going to need. Are we seeing our commercial rates stay level? Are we increasing our commercial clients, decreasing our commercial clients? How are we doing?
Recently, we've seen an uptick in them. To what extent, I can't necessarily say at this point, but we've seen an uptick in them here in the last few months.
Okay, that's a good thing. I'll make a motion for approval of the request to solicit quotes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Cook for approval, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Item C, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval of request to solicit proposals for design services that may also include construction documents, specification writing, and follow-up project oversight for repairs to the spillway at Lake Shawnee at an estimated cost of $27,500 for the design services only.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. Back in 2013, as part of our 3-year mandatory dam safety inspection, we had the inspection identified a couple places that needed to be addressed. What we have in front of you today is a request to have an engineer draw up the specs and for those repairs, and then we'll be back before you to go out for bid on those repairs. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
John, if the report came out in 2013 and today's 2015, what happened between those 2 years?
There was no money available to do that project. We had that had that added to the certificates of participation, which you guys recently approved.
Okay. Any other questions regarding this item?
Motion to approve.
There's been a motion to approve by Commissioner Archer. I'll second. Seconded by Commissioner Cook. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Next item.
Item C2, consider approval of request to award bid for photography services to select photographics for youth athletics and authorization and execution of contract C-174-2015 for same with revenue of 15% of the sales annually.
Commissioners, this is a contract to provide sole source photography services to our youth sports leagues. They come in and the participants are under no pressure to buy, other than peer pressure that the kids put on mom and dad to buy the pictures. But with that being said, we negotiated this price, went out for RFP. We only had one company respond, and that's what's before you this morning.
Any questions regarding this item?
Move approval.
There's been a motion by Commissioner Bueller for approval of the contract with
Second.
Select Graphics, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? It passes 3-0. Next item.
Item C3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-175-2015 with the Wakarusa Watershed Joint District Number 35 for treatment of noxious weeds to be billed monthly, detailing chemicals used and dye furnished, plus $25 per hour for labor and $35 to $40 per hour for equipment, and contract C-176-2015 with the Auburn Township Board for treatment of noxious weeds and brush at a cost of $22 per township road mile for labor, equipment, and chemical costs.
Now, Commissioners, these are two contracts to control noxious weeds in other jurisdictions. We have one where the Wakarusa Watershed District, where we're maintaining all of their properties. We're on the Auburn Township one, we're just maintaining roads. That's why the two contracts are laid out different. After consultation with John Wellborn, he determined that that's what his costs are to do that. Work, we're recovering that from the other jurisdictions, and every year we'll go back and review that and make sure that we're recovering at least our costs. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Any questions regarding these two contract items?
Now, motion to approve the contracts as presented.
Second.
There's been a motion by Commissioner Archer to approve the contracts, plural, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? It passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item.
Item D, Kansas Expo Center. Number 1, consider approval of a capital expenditure request for the purchase of 9 sheer polygrease traps from Reeves White Wiederman for an amount of $4,184.55.
Good morning, Commissioners. H.R. Cook, General Manager, Kansas Expo Center. This is a replacement of all of our grease traps and Landon Arena concession stands. The original grease traps were cast iron over 30 years. They've rusted through. We're doing the work in-house, so this is a very simple request just for grease traps from our concession stands.
Any questions regarding this capital expenditure? I'll make a motion for approval of the request,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you, HR. Next item.
Item E, Emergency Management. Number 1, consider adjusting salary for the position of Ambulance Compliance Officer and Communications Officer to $40,000, not including benefits.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Sturbins, Emergency Management. This was an oversight on my part that I had just never taken what I received and multiplied by 2,080. So when I did do a salary study getting ready for next year's budget, I realized that I had not caught the error and the employee had not brought it to my attention, so I'm asking that it be adjusted at this time.
Any questions regarding this request? Commissioner Archer?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, the employee's been underpaid for 2 years,
Yes,
and
sir.
he never said anything about it.
No.
Okay. What impact does it have on the budget for 2015?
It won't have any, and it will make it work.
Okay.
I will not go in the hole.
Okay. The only other thing I was going to mention, Mr. Chair, is that we are studying all positions within Shawnee County to look at compensation that we provide to employees. And we're not only looking at compensation to make sure we're paying our employees equitably, but we're also looking at force levels to make sure that we are staffed correctly to do the people's business. So, having said that, I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Any other discussion on this item?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Archer to approve the item, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. And I think it's important to note, just as you said, Commissioner Archer, we're examining not just the amount that people are paid, but also the staffing levels and making sure that we have adequate staff for all departments. And so that may not mean cuts, that may mean that we are understaffed in some areas and we need to reshift and re-examine how we staff some of our areas. So, motion by Commissioner Archer for approval, seconded by Commissioner Bueller.
I have a question for you.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
For payroll purposes. So this is, with this approval, this is going to go back to May 2013 and readjust the salary back to May 2013.
This would be effective as of now. I'm looking at Mr.
Yes,
Sturbridge.
the employee and I had the discussion, and if we
That's-
just correct it as of now for the next pay period, he's agreed.
Thank you for that
Because
clarification.
I just want to be sure because
No, thank you.
I didn't think that was real clear in the
I
memo.
don't have
so
that much money
And
available.
Commissioner Archer,
So I was-
that was what your motion had been.
was to go
Absolutely.
going forward.
Mr. Chair.
Thank
So-
you.
Motion by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? It passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications. Number 1, presentation on planning for the National Night Out 2015 event. Christy Pankratz.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Christy Pankratz, and I'm the Director of Safe Streets. As we receive county support, I just wanted to update you on some exciting news regarding one of our programs, National Night Out. It is scheduled for August 8th this year, and we had our opportunity for our first planning meeting last week. And I just wanted to share with you the amount of support from the community that we have seen. I have been in Safe Streets for 2 years, and we have seen this event grow and grow, but nothing quite prepared me for the first planning meeting. We had more than 90 people in attendance, standing room only at the library. More than 40 neighborhoods have signed up to participate. Our goal is a lot higher than that, so we are just so excited to see this event grow. I encourage you to come check out our next meeting, May 13th at the library, 6:30 p.m. Just the excitement that people are showing is just, it's heartwarming, and I'd encourage you to come check it out. So, and thank you very much for your support of the event. Thank you.
Any
Thanks,
questions?
Christy. Christy, you set a record last year, though, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
How many neighborhoods did you have?
We had 63 total by the event date. We're at 43 right now, so we're on track to go as high as we can.
Very good.
Yeah,
Commissioner Archer.
I wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
I can't think of any event in our community that brings out more people than the National Night Out.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity to meet your neighbors, to talk about safety issues, and yeah, it's a great event, and I'm looking forward to being there again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Christy. Any other persons wanting to speak, Commissioner, regarding any items?
Morning, Commissioners. Randy Libby, Parks and Recreation. I did want to remind you and the public, we do have a public meeting Wednesday, April 29th at Hillcrest regarding the Southwest Aquatic Facility. So, Crestview, what did I say? My bad, Crestview. He's reading my mind. Be glad to answer any questions. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware.
Any questions, Commissioner Archer?
Well, and that's going to be at 6 o'clock.
6:30, I thought.
It's going to be at 6:30.
6:30.
Okay. Well, I had thought originally it was going to be at 6, and then I read in the Capital Journal it was at 6:30, so I want to make sure everybody knows. It is 6:30 Wednesday night
Wednesday night
at Crestview.
at Crestview, correct.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other administrative communications today? Commissioner Bueller? Commissioner Archer?
No, I forgot last week to congratulate you on your State of the Community speech. To paraphrase you from last year, I didn't know an attorney could give such a good speech. So, job well done in representing the county, and it's noticed and appreciated.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I might note that also on Wednesday, we do have a meeting of the Joint Economic Development Organization. That will be at the City Hall. At that time, we will be looking over applicants for the request for proposal to hire a consultant for JADO. This is to advise the JADO group. And that meeting,
Is it at 6? That meeting is at 6.
that meeting is at 6 p.m. So I understand that we may not all be in attendance, but that will be down that time and at that place.
Right.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 6, executive sessions.
There is a need for an executive session today regarding personnel matters of non-elected personnel and consultation with an attorney for what would be deemed as attorney-client relationship. And I would make a motion that we go into executive session not to exceed 20 minutes.
Second.
Maybe the acquisition of real estate?
And also adding in the acquisition of real property. So
Perhaps 30 minutes would
30
be
minutes, let's increase.
better.
So, not to exceed 30 minutes. All in favor, or motion by
Second.
Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We are in executive session.
don't think you're gonna get arrested on 1 minute, so.
We're back in session. No action was taken. We are adjourned. Okay. This is all for me.
Yep, there's just the
So, I think
couple
you're free to go.
comments.
Good.